My next tip is about the handstand push-up. Now, these are strict handstand push-ups and they're at the part of the workout when you're already gonna have a lot of shoulder fatigue. So likely, unless you're someone who's very good at strict handstand push-ups, these are going to need to be broken early and often, and you just need to manage the fatigue the best that you possibly can. We also have a new standard, which is really important for us to consider. You need to touch some part of your hand to that line. Again, the 10-inch line from the wall is 30 inches. What that means, if you're someone who's putting like an index finger on that line, it's going to be about the width of a 40-inch box. So pretty standard as to what you're used to. The one big difference is that you can't play with the distance away from the wall nearly as much. You can only get your hands so far away from that wall. Now, what we noticed in the open announcement was that the amateur athletes had their index finger onto that tape line, which doesn't allow for the full width of that to be used. What the games athletes did was they moved their thumb. So it moves about 3 inches out on each side to make that a little bit easier, a little bit less range of motion that cuts it down. However, there's one big difference that creates, and that moves your fingertips closer to the wall. So if you're someone who's already feeling like you're falling off the wall because that 10 inches feels close, you might opt for a narrower grip and going all the way to the fingertips. If you're someone who's pretty comfortable on the wall and you have a pretty good hand balancing experience, you can go thumb on that line, which is gonna take a little bit more dexterity to actually get up and kick up correctly to that point. You need to be exact about it each time you do it. However, if you can do that, it allows your grip width to be a little bit wider, where you can use a little bit less shoulders on each of those reps.
Tips for 23.3. So there's not a whole lot of time for the movements that you have. I think that knowing what type of athlete that you are and knowing where this workout is going to end for you is huge. You know, first thing, the obvious being, do you even have a strict handstand push-up? I think, if you don't, you should race to the tie break times for your snatches. Also being pretty smart about those as well. You know, probably touch and go may not be the best idea if you don't want to fatigue your shoulders too much, where when you do get to the 95-pound barbell, you know, you're just so burnt out that you can't move it. And I think that you also, if you do break them up, you know, take short, fast breaks just to, you know, shake out your grip and get right back on it. Because again, if you don't have that strict handstand push-up, then, you know, you're looking at your tie break time, and that's kind of what you want to shoot for. If you do have strict handstand push-ups, I think that is pretty smart. Again, I think that you are gonna want to touch and go the snatches, but I also think that, again, taking a quick break so that you don't fatigue your shoulders to the point where those strict handstand push-ups are failing, I think that could be a huge mistake. Again, not a lot of time, so you don't want to get no repped in this workout. I think that'll hurt you a ton. So again, quick breaks on anything that you do break up, and just know where this workout is going to end for you. You know, are you shooting for the tie break time, or are you shooting for some strict handstand push-ups? Good luck.
My next tip is related to all the snatches in this workout. Now, we have an ascending barbell. So each time you're coming back to that bar, it's getting heavier. In round 1, it's 95-65. Round 2, it's 135-95, then 185-125, and 225-155. It continues to build each time. So you just need to understand what your capacity is at each one of those bars, where it allows you to pick a strategy that's appropriate. Now, I would say for most people, either you're sprinting to try to get as much done in those 6 minutes before you're gonna get capped as you can, or you're a higher level athlete where you know you're gonna get past that 6-minute cap. At that point, it probably makes sense for that very first barbell to be at least some touch and go reps, right? That could be triples, it could be 5s, it could be, you know, 9-6, it could be, if you're really good, maybe all 15 unbroken. However, having some sort of touch and go strategy there probably makes sense. I would say for most people moving forward after that point, it makes sense to do all singles on the bar. Starting at that 135-95 pound bar, even if you could do some touch and go reps, it probably makes sense to just get in the rhythm of doing a rep, drop, and quickly reset, and finding a good foot pattern and breathing pattern that matches that, and also just try to minimize the amount of grip and shoulder fatigue that you're getting as a result of kind of carrying it down into the next rep. So understanding how much rest you're gonna need in between those singles, and understanding that you're probably gonna be tight up against that next time cap, And if necessary, you might have to try to hang on and do a couple touch and go, even if you're not really comfortable doing that at that loading, to try to make it into the next window. So you just need a little bit of, court awareness, so to speak, to figure out where am I in the workout, what's my capacity like, and what am I gonna need to do in order to make it into the next time domain so I can continue to work. Thanks for watching today. If you found this video helpful, be sure to share with somebody in your community who would also benefit from it. And if you want to stay up to date with more content about how to be at your best in sport of CrossFit, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and best of luck on the workout.